are the facts. 70% of all money spent in healthcare is the direct result of behavior. 74% of all money spent in healthcare is confined to 4 chronic conditions: cardiovascular disease, cancer, diabetes, and obesity. Now here's the real telling facts. 80% of cardiovascular disease and diabetes is preventable. 60% of cancers are preventable. And 90% of obesity is preventable. We're just not into prevention. I thought I was really fit when I left college to go to pro. Oh man, I had no idea. Our training camp when I was drafted with the Saints was in Vero Beach, Florida. I want you to think of the hottest day we've had this summer, highest humidity, put on 30 pounds of equipment and practice 2 to 3 times a day in that. Us big guys, we would lose between 14 and 18 pounds a practice. They would hook us up to an IV after every practice just to restore our electrolytes, and yet we had to keep our weight up. My playing weight was about 280. I stepped out of the world of fitness and into the world of sitting, and it felt really good to sit down. I felt like I'd exercised enough for 2 to 3 lifetimes. He says, get out. And so I get out. Only one foot fits on a little platform about the size of a shoebox. The other one's dangling in space. I can feel the underside of the wing across my back because of my height. My hands are on the struts. And right then it all hits me. It's like, Hubbard, you idiot. What are you doing? But it's entirely too late, you know. And she says, go, and you just let go. And so I let go and I said, arch 1,000, check 2,000, check 3,000. I had a bad shoot. Now, they say that 2 things happen in a shocking, stressful situation. I had both. One's called brain lock. That's where your mind just seizes up on one particular thing because of the stress and you can't get off it. I brain locked on bad shoot. I said it about 150 times. Okay? Bad shoot, bad shoot, bad shoot, oh shoot, bad shoot. Over and over and over again. Now you say, well, that's no big deal. I mean, that shouldn't be a big deal. You ought to be able to collect yourself a little bit. Listen, one of the craziest things about parachuting that you just don't get, you don't believe until you do it, there's no sensation of falling. It's not like riding a roller coaster, your stomach's coming to your throat. It's all relative. You know you're going 60 miles an hour in a car because the gauge tells you that and you see things flying by you. Up there, you feel like you're floating. My jump at that altitude with an open parachute should have taken 3.5 minutes. My entire jump took less than 30 seconds. I'm flying through the sky at 125 miles an hour, and I have no sensation of that. I feel like I'm floating. We do a lot in the areas of stress management. We're living in very stressful times. There are a lot of techniques that you can do to reduce stress, very effective. You want the most effective way to reduce stress? Get rid of this. For every extra pound of fat you have in your body, you have 1 to 6 miles of additional capillary for your blood to be forced through on a daily basis. That's a lot of stress on the system. One more, one of my favorites. Husband and wife are lying in bed. They're watching Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. He reaches over and grabs her hand and says, honey, would you like to make love? She says, no. He said, is that your final answer? She says, yes. He said, well, then I'd like to phone a friend. And that's how the fight started. Listen, here's some fat facts that you may not know. If all the fat cells in your body were empty, they'd be the size of your fist. If all the fat cells in your body were full, they'd be the size of a couch. It's true that some people are born with more fat cells than others. It's true that once you get a fat cell, it never goes away. But how fat that fat cell becomes is totally up to you. Now let's say you see somebody and they're on a diet that says they're going to lose 7 pounds in a week. Okay, and you see them a week later and they say, I lost 7 pounds, I feel great. Then we don't look so hot. Now let's look at that 7 pounds. Okay, of the 7 pounds, we'll give them 2 pounds of water. We'll give them 2 pounds of fat because you can only metabolize 3.3 pounds of fat in a week. So we'll round that off. They got 3 pounds left. What did they lose? They lost muscle mass. Folks, that's absolutely crazy. Because the one thing that you need more than anything else, you see, is the muscle mass. All you've got, we're going to do 10 seconds of that, and then I'm going to move you to 2 other positions, okay? Ready? Go. 1, 2, come on. 3, 4, hard. 10. Last one, grab your chair. Underneath, you can try to pull yourself off the ground. We'll have one guy do it, okay? Ready? Go. 1. You need to walk. You need to get up. As I'm standing here right now, I'm exercising 300 muscles in my body. As you're sitting there, you're exercising none. So you need to stand more. Here was my motto. It's far better to brush your teeth for 2 or 3 minutes a day than for 45 minutes 2 to 3 times a month. What do you think? I guarantee everybody here brushed their teeth today. Isn't that amazing? Have you ever stood in front of the sink and said, I got a really busy day today. Maybe I'll brush longer tomorrow.